Okay, so I thought the best way to do this was to do both different screen grabs as well as just kind of walking through with a video and stuff, because different times, of course, you know, different things will definitely turn up that won't be expected. So first one here, I know it's going to be coming up, is just as you log in, the game brings up the
Oh, come in! There's all sorts of shenanigans afoot.
So right from the start, we have the today's quest or daily quests, which pretty much what we've talked about is how this is the main thing that we want to have as soon as a student logs in that's generated. It shows them right up front what is it that they do today to move their progress forward, and basically, it's that thing of where, whenever they check in, they have this. It's something to kind of help them to just right away know what it is that will help them to move the bar forward in their progress. Next, after you logged in, you can go ahead and start kind of playing and stuff like that. But even before you play your first game, though, it's all about building the decks. So they'll pretty much walk you through, and so of course, kind of what we've talked about is that's what the main thing you want to do with the app is allowing the teachers to build decks for learning and stuff. So right now I've pretty much got all these different decks and stuff. I've got one slot open. So that's something that I think we've kind of talked about a little bit about, how many decks we want to make available for teachers to build. It can definitely vary and stuff. And there's definitely different arguments for which way to go with that. So let's say that I want to, one of the first decks you always kind of build, and because it sets you up to do it, is the main. And the analogy between Hearthstone decks and what we've talked about with the guitar practice app is how you can have decks for jazz guitar players versus rock guitar players versus country and stuff. So that's like kind of the different classes, like mage or warrior and that kind of thing in Hearthstone. Next up is this idea of being able to cut and paste decks, where once we create a deck, it will generate a string of code that can basically allow people to share decks across the board. Okay. Wow, surprisingly, I'm not missing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I figured I'd be missing some different cards and stuff. So. And what we're seeing here is the ability to go ahead and modify the decks, of course. That's one of the other key things that we've talked about is the flexibility. Of course, one significant difference is that you really can't make changes for the cards themselves. And that's something that is different between the Guitar Practice app and what we're talking about here with Hearthstone, is because being able to kind of actually change individual cards is one of the things that we want to be able to do, because then we can add YouTube videos versus PDFs versus other links and stuff like that. Something else that I think is really valuable about the Hearthstone experience or interface is basically the smoothness that you can go through and create changes to the decks. It's almost in itself part of the fun. I get into it only so much, to be honest. I'm not really that much into building these different decks, but it is something that kind of is just overall feels enjoyable. So the last thing I'll highlight here is this idea that you can kind of review your quests and stuff, and there you can kind of see just if the student or teacher wants, they can go ahead and review the today's quest kind of thing and stuff, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, basically, like I said, this is the different features and things that within Hearthstone I think are really applicable to our guitar practice app. So thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions or thoughts.